What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited to do this. Y'all completely blew all expectations that I had out of the water. Last week I had close to 500 views on my first video, which is so cool. I wouldn't have ever even imagined that would happen. I thought maybe 30 people would watch. But y'all are so cool, so thank y'all so much for that. So this week we're going to be talking about how I found out I was pregnant, which is one of my favorite stories just because it's kind of so crazy and chaotic, and I feel like just finding out you're pregnant is insane to begin with. So just the way I found out is just kind of funny to me. So let me just set it up for you guys. So at the time, I'm working 3 jobs. I worked at a bar in Thibodaux, which is my college hometown. I worked at Hooters, and I worked at a dance studio back in my hometown. So during this time that I found out, I was actually staying with Zach and his roommate because I moved out with one roommate, had about a month span before I could move in with my next roommate. So I was just kind of staying with them until the time passed. So the story really starts on a Tuesday. Zach was taking a shower and I was in the bathroom, getting ready for something, and I noticed that my period was starting, or so I thought. So I just kind of said hey, period starting, whatever. Went about my day. So the next day I didn't have school, so I worked a double at Hooters, and I'm talking to a girl who is trying to get pregnant with her second child and a girl who is pregnant for her first child. And we're just talking about what it's like being pregnant, what it was like for the first girl to have her first son. And I am no thank you. I don't want any part of that. I couldn't even imagine being pregnant. Y'all can keep that. Go figure. So the next day, keep in mind, so this Wednesday I had a tampon in thinking my period's starting. And when I get home, I take the tampon out and didn't really see anything, so I kind of just thought my period was off to a slow start. So the next Thursday comes around, and every Thursday I went home to teach dancing. So I went to school that day, went home, took a nap, and when I woke up out of my nap, I was in a cold sweat, and all I wanted was a sandwich. I needed one, and I was gonna die if I didn't have one. So I got dressed, left early, and I was on my way to go get a roast beef sandwich from this place called Off the Hook. And that day, Sonic had 50-cent corn dogs. So I was whatever, that's faster, cheaper. I can eat that while I'm driving. It'll be fine. So I got those. I think I got 3 of them. And I took one bite and I almost lost it. I almost threw my guts up. It was disgusting. I was ugh, never eating this again. So I get to dancing, and as I'm teaching, I'm feeling myself cramping and stuff. So I was okay, come on now, let's get it going. Just because I don't it's just, girls, y'all know, it's just a pain in the butt to be on your period. So I get home after I teach dancing, which I would leave dancing around 8 o'clock. So I get back to Thibodaux around 9, and that night I had to work at the bar. So I had to be at the bar around I think it was 10 or 10:15 that we had to be there. So that night, because I was bartending, Zach and a bunch of his buddies were going out. So they were kind of all at the apartment drinking while I was at work. And then when I got back, they all left to go get dressed and get ready. And Zach was kind of already feeling himself, whatever, being goofy. And he starts messing with me, trying to not initiate anything, but just being goofy. And I was no, get off. I'm on my period, leave me alone. But then I was well, actually, I don't know what's going on, but it's taking a long time. I keep seeing stuff, but it's not really, coming. And y'all, I kid you not, this is, the craziest part to me. Zach looks at me in my eyes and then pokes my stomach. And he goes, "Oh, you got a baby in there." And he's poking me. I was now that, I know what I know now, looking back on that, I'm insane. So from when I moved out with my other roommate, I ended up having a pregnancy test. I think some of our stuff got mixed up or something, but I noticed a couple days before that there was a pregnancy test box in my stuff. So I was I have a pregnancy test upstairs, I can go find out. And he was yeah, shut up. So I run upstairs and really wasn't even thinking anything of it. but I was like, okay, I know I'm on my period, but I'll just mess with them. So I take this test and I see one line and I'm like, okay, whatever, like finished getting ready, did my makeup, got dressed, did my hair, and I went to pick up the test. Oh God, I like still get kind of shaky thinking about it just because I remember how it felt. I picked up the test and I looked at it and there was 2 lines, which 2 lines means positive. And y'all, the color in my face, like I would like just watch myself in the mirror, the color in my face just completely drained, and I screamed Zach's name and he ran up the stairs, like didn't question, like usually he's like, what do you want? Well, I screamed his name and he ran up the stairs, and by the time he got up to the stairs, I was leaning over the sink like about to throw up. I had the test in my hand like face down with the like line part down, and he was like, what, and I couldn't move. I was like stuck. It was like I was completely frozen, and he was like, what? So he takes the test out of my hand and he was like, oh shit. So I like snap out of it and I was like, well, I don't have time to deal with this right now. Like I have to be at work, and I think by that time it was like in 20 minutes. So I was like, I don't have time to deal with this right now. Like maybe it's wrong. Like I thought I saw blood. Like I'm not worried about this right now. And he was like, Joel, like it says that it's positive. Like you have to see if you're actually pregnant. Like don't go into work and whatever. And I was like, well, I can't not go into work because what if it's wrong? Like, and then I just don't show up to work for no reason. So I called my friend that was working at the bar with me that night because I knew that she lived right by a Walmart. So I called her and I was like, please tell me you're not at work yet. And she was like, no, I'm not there. Why? What's up? So I was like, go to Walmart, go get me a pack of pregnancy tests, and I'll explain everything when I get there. And she was like, what do you need a pregnancy test for? And I was like, I just took one and it came out positive. Like, please just go get me one. I'll tell the managers why you're late. Just please go get me one. So this Thursday night happens to be the night before that me and my new roommate are supposed to move in. So like we're supposed to move in 9 a.m. that Friday morning. So the next person I call is her, and I was like, I don't think that we can move in together tomorrow. I think I'm pregnant. And she had her best friend at the time was pregnant, and her sister was pregnant at the time. So she was like, Joel, like, don't worry about it. We're gonna be okay. And keep in mind, Zach played baseball, so he had to live with his roommates at this time. So he was freaking out. I call her, and she was like, Joel, like, pregnancy is surrounding me. Like, we're gonna figure it out. Just calm down. Go take another test. Let me know what it says. You know, take a breath. So I was like, okay. So I calm down. I'm driving to work. I get to work and I see one of my best friends, and I just texted in our group message. I was like, y'all, and I just sent a bunch of dots, and they were like, what? So I see my friend Shelby and I grab her, and I was like, bathroom now, like right now. And she is like, she had already been there for a while, so she's, you know, like on the verge of being super drunk. And I remember I took her by the shoulders in the bathroom, and I was like, whatever kind of drunk you are right now, like I need you to snap out of it for 2 seconds. And she was like, no, like I'm not that drunk. And I was like, I think I'm pregnant. And she shut down like a robot in a movie. Like she closed her eyes and opened them back up and was like, what did you just say? Like, what is going on? So I said, you know, I just told her everything. I took a test, came back positive. Marcella was going to get me some more tests. So I'm freaking out. So while I'm waiting for Marcella, I'm upstairs and I'm trying to like serve people, and I'm like pouring the alcohol. My hands are shaking so bad. I'm like, Shelby's at the bar crying, and she was like, no, like we cannot let this happen right now. So Marcella finally gets to the bar, and we go into the office bathroom. Her, Shelby, and myself, we go into the bathroom, and I take my next test, and within like 10 seconds, boom, positive. So I'm like, oh my God, like, there's no way. So my manager, I tell him, like, I gotta go. Like, I just have to go. Marcella can explain it to you. Like, I gotta go. So I grab all my stuff and I leave. And the owner happened to be there that night. So I remember hearing him, like, sorry, I had something in my eye. I remember hearing him being like, Joel, where are you going? And I was just like, gotta go, like, bye. So I call Jenna back and I tell her, like, okay, I just took another one. It came back positive. What do I do? So I don't know why we thought this was a great idea, but she was like, do you want to go to the emergency room and just see if we can get like a doctor test. So it's so embarrassing, so stupid. So I was like, yes, let's do that. So I'm texting Zach and I'm telling him what we were doing. And he's like, do you want me to come? And I was like, no, like, don't worry about it. So at the time, Jenna was hanging out with another girl who was dating somebody on the baseball team. And every time I would call, Jenna would leave the room. Well, finally, this girl was like, what's going on? And Jenna was like, Jewel needs me right now. Like, I have to go be with Jewel. And she kind of was like, is she pregnant? And Jenna was like, I don't know what's going on. So we're sitting in the emergency room, and this girl that Jenna was with texts Jenna and says, all the boys just got a text message saying that there needs to be an emergency meeting at the apartments. And I just knew that Zach had texted in the group message and told, like, he wanted to tell everybody. So I'm texting Zach and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what is going on? Why are they all going to the apartment? And he's like, they're my teammates. Like, I have to tell them. And I was like, I don't even know yet. Like, we can't say anything yet. I'm not 100% sure. So we go to the back and I do the little pee in a cup, do the stick test, and she kind of just says, like, the emergency room test is pretty much equivalent to taking just a regular pregnancy test. And I was like, whatever, I don't care, like, do it anyway. So y'all, I kid you not, she puts a stick in the test, or puts, into the cup, and she goes to walk in the door, and she closes the door behind her, and not 10 seconds later, she comes back in, and she's pulling it out, and she goes, yeah, it's positive. So me and Jenna just kind of looked at each other, and we were like, okay, all right, we're having a baby. But I couldn't believe it, y'all. Like, it just wouldn't sink into my brain that there was something inside of me that was about to be a whole human. So I kind of was just in denial. And so that Friday, I took the second pregnancy test from the pack that Marcella had gotten me. And again, it was positive. But I also kept thinking, which I don't, like, this doesn't make any sense, but, like, this was just my thought process. Before any of this had happened, I had switched from the pill to the shot because keeping up with the pill was getting hard to do. Like, I was constantly working, and I was working really late hours, so it was just like I was forgetting, plus I was going to school, so it was just kind of a lot. So I just figured, like, I'll do the shot, that way I don't even have to stress about wondering if I took it or not. And then I got the flu, and then I got strep back to back. So of course they put me on amoxicillin, and that cancels out birth control, and I didn't think about that at all, didn't even pay any mind to it. So I just tell Zach, like, calling the doctor Monday, I'm gonna go to the appointment, just see what they say. So I, being that I had grown up in this doctor's office, I knew what the rooms were. So I'm sitting in room A, and I just did a pee test, and I didn't say that I was going for a pregnancy test. I said that I was going for my next round of shots, which of course they give you a pregnancy test anyway. So I'm sitting in the room and I hear room A's positive, and my heart, like, worse than Thursday night, my heart dropped because I knew, like, I'm at my doctor's office, like, this one's real, like, this one is 100%. So she comes in, and she was pregnant with twins at the time. So she comes in and she was like, Miss Jewel, you're pregnant. And I was like, okay, I kind of had a feeling. And I told her everything. And she was like, what do you want to do? Because, you know, if I wanted to keep it, there was options. If I didn't want to keep it, there was options. So she kind of was like, where's your head at? And she was so sweet, and she calmed me down so much. And I am so thankful for her. She, like, really was a big part of how I just sunk it all in, I guess. So obviously my natural instinct was, yes, I'm keeping it. So I call Zach when I leave the doctor's office, and I was just like, yep, it's real, like 100% I am pregnant, and what are we gonna do? And he was just so, like, again, kind of like my doctor, just so calm and collected. And obviously he was freaking out too, but, like, now that we had it confirmed 100% from a doctor, he was very like, okay, like, we got this, we'll make it work. So that is how it kind of all happened. My next video is going to be about how he told her parents, because that was just the next crazy part of the adventure in itself. So It's insane. Use protection. And don't have sex if you're on amoxicillin. Take it from me. But he is awesome. Asher is absolutely the best thing that has ever happened to me, despite not being ready at the time. I couldn't imagine my life any other way. So that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Y'all have a great day. I will see you guys next week. Comment, like, subscribe. You know the deal. Leave some questions if y'all have any, and I'll try to answer them in the next video, or maybe I'll do like a Instagram ask, whatever, __Julie, 3 Ys. I'll see y'all next week. Bye, guys.